Hey guys, how's it going? I'm the Duke of Italy, favorite lo-fi music YouTuber, and welcome back to an currently out of sync video. I'm gonna have to readjust this in the edit, but today, no, we're not covering math rock because I don't want to yet, and I'm not ready. But in other news today, we're covering a request. I don't get a lot of requests on this channel, so that's fun, I guess. Please send some requests. I'm dying to make content that you guys enjoy because I love doing this. But this was a album that was replacement requested by a good friend of mine. Hi, Kate. Hope you're doing well out there in California. Hope things are working well for you. But this was initially going to be Take Off Your Pants and Jacket by Blink-182. And I listened to it and I determined that I like a lot of Blink-182 songs that aren't on that album. So today we're covering Enema of the State by Blink-182, their 1999 real breakthrough record, a real game-changing album in the world of pop punk. This and Dookie probably being like the top two. Enema of the State, I find a stronger album for a few reasons. Lyrical content, which in the world of pop punk, it can't get too weird because like you can't be too critical because I'm not gonna believe most pop punk artists for like being like, oh, I hate the government, like we all do. So you gotta have good lyrical content, you gotta have good song structure, it's gotta be fast and punchy and memorable, and you gotta have riffs, gotta have good guitar riffs, good guitar playing, good bass playing even. And from Blink-182, is that a tall order? Well, I mean, if your definition of good guitar playing is technical, then they fail. But that's not what pop punk is about. And you know, since I actually just listened to the new Machine Gun Kelly record not that long ago, I know, sorry, my loyal subscribers out there, don't think of me as a pleb. I didn't even want to listen to it. Bridget and the person who's been making half our thumbnails, Jen, they both played the album in front of me and I just listened while they were doing it, and I was like doing homework or whatever. It's currently the worst album of the year, but that is not to say pop punk is a lacking genre, because Enema of the State is full of bangers. But I think, you know, I think we could give it a little bit of respect because Enema of the State is genuinely great album. And it all starts with the opening track, Dumpweed, which has potentially the best Blink-182 riff. And yeah, it's not that hard to play. I could probably play it, and I don't play guitar myself, but that doesn't mean it's not good. The tone of it is like super bright. And of course, you can't really talk about Blink-182 without Travis Barker. Of course, he's fallen out of favor in most music fans' eyes over the past couple of years because of his production on Machine Gun Kelly records and for his drum playing that is kind of deviated from quality over the past few years. But he used to be fire because, as you can see on this thing right here, he comes in with a super fast swank beat as the chords break through, which is one of the best openers that pop punk could imagine here. And there's like a thrash metal type rhythm, like a faster version of swank beat, not like a blast beat, but it's the sort of like alternating beat that they do on a lot of Slayer records. But it's so fast and engaging. Like, I remember the first time I heard this song years ago, I was blown away by how just like lightning fast it was. And on the refrain, the rhythm section has like this extra snare hit that's used, and again, like just these little extra bits are what can separate Blink-182 from their peers, I guess, in the scene. And I mean, if there's any flaw about this track, there's sort of a build that happens sort of the middle to end of the song. It's got the typical muted sound as it's like going to go into the riff again, and that's not really my favorite sound, but there's a bit of like syncopation that's added that I think does add enough. Also, the song is super fun. It's a song about complaining about your girlfriend, but you love her anyway, and it's cute. It's a cute song. Blink knows how to make cute songs, and this album is chock full of them. So this next song is called Don't Leave Me, and Don't Leave Me has a perfect example of a thing that punk bands do that I think really amplifies the effectiveness of whatever track they're playing, and it's a sense of like serious unity. Blink-182 is just a three-piece, so they kind of have to be unified on the rhythm section because it is all rhythm. There's not a lead guitar part, it's just Tom kind of skewing away from, I guess, Mark. And that really has a really big impression when it happens because there's only so much texture going on. But the thing is, they have a lot of pedals on at once, really loud sound, And it's what's nice about them being a power trio is because when they're all together, you can tell. But Tom can kind of weave between rhythm and lead guitar parts, even though it's mostly rhythm. But this rhythmic and forward moving sound is something that's really engaging. And I don't expect Tom to play like amazing guitar solos, but if he's playing power chords and interesting rhythms and the intervals played are like appealing to my ears, then I'm not going to knock it at all. I don't care if you're not like Dream Theater. Not just because I don't like Dream Theater. Here's a better example. I don't care if you're not like King Crimson, as long as you just sound good. And most punk bands aren't the most unified, but if you look at like a Black Flag, for example, they have such a unity in their sound. Everything hits at like the right point at the right time, that even if they don't understand like traditional music theory as well as like your Robert Fripp's would, it doesn't matter that much because it all hits perfectly on the dot. Also, there's a chug on the guitar part that it deviates just slightly, but it does add a lot of extra texture, adds a lot of color. And on the bridge, the bass is way more clear, and it's that overdriven sound is not that crazy. I mean, I was playing it today, but it sounds wonderful, and it just kind of goes to show that like Blink takes a lot of things that are like so widely accepted that you don't realize that they could be effective most of the time. Also on this track, there's a serious sense of humorous cynicism and a lot of sarcasm, and it's another strength of Blink 182. They're funny guys more often than not. They have their faults when they try to be funny, but I think they've succeeded more than a few times. This next song is known as Aliens Exist. There's so much momentum in this track, even though the guitar part is like pretty minimalist. It's so driving forward. It's weird because you'd think they really try to do this with the lead singles on Take Off Your Pants and Jackets, like I mentioned earlier, but here it's like shockingly more effective, even though you think of Enema of the State and it's more of like their singles and like their songs that kind of sound different from each other, can kind of vary in speed, but really like all of the other tracks that aren't really chart toppers, just they don't want to waste any time. They don't even want you to think that they're filler because they just go so hard and so fast. The rhythm section on the chorus is one of my favorite rhythm sections on this album, and the lyrics are super fun. I mean, Tom DeLonge is a confirmed alien believer, but I think it's an interesting idea, and it's fun. It's fun to think about, and it's kind of cool that like, you know, punk doesn't have to be mad at something. It can just be like wondering about something cool. I would like to say right now, I'm not saying Blink is like punk necessarily. It's kind of like how Black Gaze isn't black metal, I guess. Like a lot of similarities. It sure pulls from it a lot, but like the attitude is certainly different. And there's this muted sound on this track of all these like descending arpeggios that sound super cool. I think Tom's sort of like his riffing style on this track is, it has enough variety definitely to cover the 35 minutes, and it shows no sign of slowing down at this part or any other part of the album. You probably think of Enema of the State as being overproduced, as it's a pretty commercial album. It sold a whole lot of copies, but it doesn't feel sterile at all. There's a lot of noisier bits on this track, and Blink really knows how to use enough distortion to kind of deviate from what would be too soft, I guess. And of course, the riffs on the bridge sound great as well. Tom really carried this track. The next track is Going Away to College, kind of continuing themes of heartbreak that kind of coats this album. This is another track that has a serious sense of unity behind the whole band here. It feels like a very hard-hitting rhythm section, and I know I say that a lot, but I think it's worth pointing out again, just in case you forgot. The words are obviously very sweet, clearly lacking an edge, as they don't seem that angry, certainly bitter at the whole situation painted on this song, but I think it's effective lyrical themes, even if they're not mad at anything. There's also a wah effect on the guitar, and Blink doesn't really use wah that much, but I think it works pretty well. Then we get the classic single, What's My Age Again? The track, which is its chords, were used for Machine Gun Kelly's Emo Girl, and I'm still mad at him for that. Like, he didn't even try to make a song that wasn't just a Blink song. But the thing is, the song he tried to make was already a great song. I love What's My Age Again? I think it's super fun, and you could be mad at me for it. I love the lyrical content. I think the idea of not wanting to be mature is, I mean, do I personally relate a ton? Not entirely, but I've had moments. I mean, everyone feels like they just want to like mess around and stuff, and I can't really knock them for that. And for people whose career has been made off of being not that mature, like, good for you. I love the cleaner guitar sound. The arpeggios are so great. They're tasty. I think this track is perfectly self-aware, and I think without this track, this album would be a good amount weaker. It shows some self-awareness that like Take Off Your Pants and Jacket really doesn't have. So I can commend it for that. I'm gonna stop talking about this track now because you've probably listened to it, but I'm just letting you know I like it. I like it a lot. And of course, next is Dysentery Gary. This track has a really cool and loud sounding tremolo riff. I love tremolo, and Tom brought it here. And this is a bitter track about someone dating someone that you like. We've all been there, we've all been there. Hope I'm not outing myself as like a loser or anything. Well, I mean, I'm saying I like Blink 182. That already is changing several of your opinions about me, but it's a relatable theme, and it's something. It's something I can agree with Blink on for using it in their album. I think a lot of these sort of like teen heartbreak ideas. I think the theme is fun. There's a lot of this album that I just have to say, you know what, I'm having fun. And this song is lightning fast. There's even like a quiet bridge portion that feels like it's like 5 seconds long, which I can commend the speed immensely. So, I mean, hats off to you, Blink. And this is followed by probably my favorite Blink 182 song, Adam Song. This is a song about how Mark on tour fell into a deep state of depression. And it's super depressing. And fortunately, this is not about a real person, because if it was about a real person, I would find its placement in the album super bizarre, because it's followed by the other single, All the Small Things, which we'll get into in a second. But fortunately, this is not written about a real person. It's about Mark, who is a real person, but I mean, he made this decision, so if he wants to put these two songs back to back, he can do that. And I love the chorus on this track. I think it's so great. The lyrics all really paint like a sense of depression, and they're a little like blatant, but I like the sort of like lucidity and like odd dreamlike ideas of the confusion of like these sort of random lyrics. Like, I know there's a weird lyric about spilling apple juice, and it sounds like super random, but it's sort of like those moments that I can imagine myself, where you can't really think straight and you're not really sure how to speak about whatever you're going through. I listen to Adam's song. Whoever you are watching this, Kate, you know how good this song is. And of course, next is All the Small Things. You know it. You either love it or you hate it. I love it. Honestly, I love it. And I know a lot of people love to rag on it because it's simple, it's kind of silly, but for being a love song, it's loud, it's punchy, it's fast, it's fun. The lyrics are nice. The music video is hilarious. Of course, I could do without the na 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 na's, but I think for a lead single on this album where there are like more important tracks, I find that hilarious. So I mean, I'll accept the song for what it is, especially since it's followed by the party song. This song is super fast, but it's also fun, so I can't knock it at all. It's insanely simple, but the riffs are all solid. It's just good old-fashioned punk composition. Punk and composition is not two words I would ever expect to put in the same sentence, but I just want to say, I think this is strong. Then is the song Mutt, which has a super tasty riff again, but more importantly, the more important instrument of any instrument ever, the bass, sounds awesome here. Really clangy, really comes through in the mix. I think whoever produced this, you did a pretty fantastic job on songs like Mutt. It's not really breaking any barriers, but the bridge here sounds awesome. Next is the song Wendy Clear, which has these really aggressive tremolo riffs that build up the verse. And what's cool about this song is that the lyrical content is sort of like commentary on the idea of like a dating scene, and it's beyond the idea of like TFW no GF. The riff is simple yet again, but it's good. I like the line, "I would play with fire to break the ice." Like, it's just kind of cool. It's pretty decent wordplay for Blink 182. And I mean, I wouldn't knock another band for using such a line. I think it's fun. And the riff is, again, simple but effective. I don't know how many times I could say that Tom is just a riff machine. Sure, he's not doing like sweep picking or anything like that, but it's clear that he knows what he's doing because everything he writes sounds just fantastic. And this is followed by one of the loudest songs on the album and the conclusion of the album, Anthem. And unlike Anthem Part 2, it doesn't have like the fake smart political commentary. I really can do without political commentary from bands like Green Day or Blink-182. Please keep talking about depression at the worst and personal relationships because I don't want to hear what you guys have to say about politics. And I think the song is solid. It's sort of more like social commentary, which I think is sort of like more pop punk's wheelhouse. Like being upset about people is, I mean, well, everyone is upset about people. But, I mean, Blink-182 is probably allowed to talk about that. The post-chorus on this track is super huge and glossy, and it sounds incredible. It's one of those tracks that is, like, extra loud, almost to be loud, and it works super well. And as a kid who didn't go to many parties myself, like, this song has a good amount of emotional weight. Maybe I'm a loser for relating to another, like, TFW no GF type of album. Like, I already reviewed Pinkerton, but I can't knock Enema of the State because this track list is solid. So what are my final thoughts? This thing is so straightforward. It's almost criminal, but it's such like a zeitgeist for like simple songwriting. And it's almost like a middle finger to bands like Steely Dan and stuff. Not that Steely Dan isn't the best band of all time, but I love this album's stance. In history, it's just amazing to hear about albums like this that just come out of nowhere. And it's so straightforward, but it's just full of quality music. And I can't knock that. And if you can knock that, then you're a lot more cynical than I am. Tasty riffs, gorgeous drumming, phenomenal sound. What's there to even complain about? Well, probably a few things, which is why I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10. But you know, I can give this props for being self-aware at points. It's a lot of it's like, yeah, we're making money off of being silly, but we like to be silly. So if you know, I'm feeling to come to Brazil. Has Blink ever been to Brazil? I don't know. I have no idea. But good album. Really solid album, considering buying a version of Enema of the State and add to my collection of CDs, which I should do an update on. I've gotten a lot more since the last video. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I certainly enjoyed making it. Hope you guys are doing well out there. If you want to leave a like and a subscribe, I would appreciate that a lot. Any comments, questions, or concerns, go ahead and comment down below. And of course, join my social media in the description, as well as the Discord page. We have a lot of fun there. I add albums like every once in a while. I hope you guys are doing well out there. Have a good day, and bye.